Hi, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself world, and I'm sitting here holding my side because I'm out in the wilderness and I have recently broken a rib. Figured this is a very good time to talk about field medicine. I actually broke my rib snowboarding in Canada, but this is the perfect setting for a talk about field medicine. Imagine if I broke my rib here, if I'm walking through the snow, I fall down and I hurt myself. I'm alone, there's nobody here to take care of me. What am I supposed to do? Well, I could panic, feel sorry for myself. I could lay there and wait for help that may or may not come. I could die of hypothermia. I could curl up in the snow. But that's not the way I am. I prefer to take care of things myself. Even if you have medical assistance available, if you know how to handle your own problems, if you know how to handle your own medical emergencies, then you don't need a doctor. I have had many broken bones in the past few years. I have to admit I'm sort of rough on myself. Nature is also very rough on your body. You could be hiking through the woods, you could slip into a hole, your foot could get stuck between a couple of rocks and you break an ankle, you break a toe, you break your foot. You could fall down and break your wrist like I did last year. Broke my wrist last year. I did not go to a doctor. I took care of it myself. Here we are in nature. How are you supposed to take care of yourself? There's nothing here but snow and dead twigs. There's no way I can help myself. Right? Wrong. You can find certain plants you can find are springy, like this one, rolls around my finger nicely. You can use this to tie up your damaged wounds. If you have a broken wrist, a broken finger, broken leg, you find a larger branch. There are some branches behind me, for example. You can break off a piece that will cover, let's say you broke your leg right here. You break off a piece of branch large enough, hopefully you have a survival knife with you, a wood saw, something. Break off a piece that'll cover from here to here. Still give you mobility, but you want to cover that fracture and stabilize it. Then you take your material that's flexible, you find something. Nature is full of things. Just look around you. Some of this stuff is fragile. If you soak it in water, it becomes more flexible. Wrap yourself up. Find above and below the break. You can actually, even better, put a stick in front and behind the break. If it's a finger, same thing. But instead of using wood, you can tie two fingers together. You lose some flexibility, but it's a field expedient repair, which I have myself done. Bind the two together. I've even used tape, actually, to bind a broken finger to a good finger. And if you want to lose more mobility, you can bind three fingers together, but I've never found that to be necessary. But basically, if you have a broken bone, bind it in place with something solid, whether it be another part of your body or whatever. For my rib, now all the doctor's going to do is tape you up. They can put a band over your chest and send you on your way home. You could rig up a sling to hold your arm in place. I prefer to just walk around and hold my arm still. It works for me. I can walk with my hand in my pocket, in my jacket. The biggest thing is when you're walking. You get a lot of pain if you have a broken bone and you're walking around. So that's the hardest part. If you're alone in the wilderness, you have a broken bone, that's going to be the hardest. But you can get out, you can survive. And I've been dealing with this rib for quite a few days now, and when I walk, I just support it firmly, and I continue on. Although it is winter, nature has an abundance of medicine for us. In springtime, I'm here near some water. I can use cattails. If you pull the stalk out at the base, there's a gooey substance in between the bottom leaves at the base. And this is a painkiller. You can use it as Novocaine on your teeth if you have to pull a tooth out. If you have a toothache, you can put it on your teeth. It'll numb the area. If you have surface wounds, you can use it to numb the pain. If you have something like me, for example, I have internal pain, or if you have a headache, you can use the willow tree. Now, willow tree is also usually found near wet areas, in wetlands, and near moisture. The willow tree is nature's aspirin. You peel the tree bark and take the inner tree bark of the willow tree, and you have aspirin. And actually, the Bayer Aspirin Company started out by using willow tree extract. The sad thing is, once you extract something from a plant, you are taking away all the supporting nutrients and minerals that was in that plant. And nature made things perfect. When we extract things, then you have side effects. Aspirin tablets can cause side effects. Willow tree, normally not, because you get the full plant. You get the whole health value of the plant, plus the medicinal effects of the natural aspirin. So actually, I may just go up and make myself a little bit of willow tree bark tea later on if this pain doesn't go away. Anyway, that aspirin from willow tree is even available in winter. So if you find yourself injured in the wilderness, there is medicine here. There is medicine available. Nature, in the winter, also gives us snow. If you're out in the woods, the snow is usually quite clean, and you have a cold compress. Don't have to go to the drugstore, don't have to go to the doctor. I go to my natural pharmacy right here. Another thing very common in winter is if you get a cold. Now, right now with a broken rib, that's my greatest fear. I do not want to start coughing. So I was at work the other day, work colleague was very, very sick. What am I going to do? If I start breathing these germs in, I'm going to get sick, my rib's going to get worse, and I'll end up in the hospital. I can't afford that. So, what do? I turn to nature. Underneath all this snow, you may still find some plants, and maybe I'll show you that in another video later. There are still things under the snow that you can scratch out. The animals do it. The deer live in winter. They dig through the snow and they find plants. Wild garlic, which I have shown in another video, is a natural antibiotic. Wild garlic will help you boost your immune system and kill any germs or viruses that you may get in you. And as you can see, I'm not coughing today. A few weeks ago I was starting to get sick. I went out and scratched up a bunch of wild garlic. I ate from the leaf down to the bulb, the whole plant. I chewed them slowly, just like you should with garlic. You chew the plant thoroughly to get the full, by crushing the plant, by crushing the bulbs, it releases the enzymes, causes a chemical reaction, which gives you the health value out of the garlic. So I ate a bunch of these throughout the day at work, and fortunately I don't work next to a lot of other people too much. My colleague had to suffer, but oh well. The next day I was healthy. A few days later, one of the girls in the office was sick. I gave her some wild garlic. She ate it. I'm surprised she trusted me and ate some wild stuff out of the backyard. 2 days later, she was healthy. There are many books that you can find that teach you about natural medicine, herbal remedies. You can download some of the Army field guides for survival. They can show you how to field dress a wound, splint a leg, fix broken bones. There are some good old books out there that teach you about the ways the Indians took care of themselves, old Indian medicine ways. The Indians were very close to nature, and they didn't have a local drugstore, they didn't have a doctor. Also, the pioneers, They came over here on a ship with just their possessions and belongings they could carry. There was no drugstore. How did they survive? I'm sure they got sick. I'm sure they had accidents and injuries. Well, nature. Nature provides everything you need to take care of yourself. So bottom line is, this is your pharmacy. If you're in the wilderness, you get hurt, you need medicine, you need first aid, you are your own doctor. Get back to basics, learn the old ways, learn to take care of yourself. Because there's nobody here to help me. If you're out in the mountains, if you're in a survival situation, you get injured, or you're alone, you have to take care of yourself. If you're with a friend, even better. They can help you bind yourself up, they can help you take care of yourself. But get back to basics, learn the old ways.